Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling a question that plagues so many WordPress users.
Choosing the right hosting.
It can be a real headache trying to sift through all the options out there.
So many choices, so many promises.
Right. And today we're going to zero in on two of the biggest names in the game, SiteGround versus WP Engine.
These are two heavy hitters, both known for their WordPress expertise.
But they also have their differences.
Yeah.
So we're going to break it down, figure out who they're best suited for, and what really sets them apart. So let's start with the basics. Who are these hosts trying to attract? Who's their ideal customer?
Well, WP Engine, you could say they're kind of like the WordPress purists.
Purists. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, their whole platform is laser focused on WordPress. They're all about optimizing that experience, making it as smooth and powerful as possible.
So if you live and breathe WordPress, WP Engine is like your home base.
They've got your back no matter how complex your WordPress project gets.
Gotcha. And what about SiteGround? Where do they fit into this picture?
SiteGround, they're a bit more like the all-arounder, the multi-talented hosts.
Okay, so they're not just about WordPress.
They do WordPress really well, but they also offer a broader range of hosting services.
So shared hosting, cloud hosting, that sort of thing.
You got it. They're appealing to a wider audience, from beginners just starting out to businesses that need a bit more flexibility.
Interesting. So WP Engine is the specialist, SiteGround is the versatile choice. Makes sense.
Exactly. It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Now let's talk performance. I mean, that's the heart and soul of a good hosting provider, right?
Couldn't agree more. And both SiteGround and WP Engine, they really emphasize that.
Okay, but specifics, please. What are we talking about here?
Well, first off, uptime. Both of them boast some seriously impressive uptime scores. We're talking near perfect, close to 100%.
Wow, that's amazing. So no worries about websites crashing all the time.
Nope, you can pretty much count on your website being accessible 24/7.
That's reassuring. But uptime is only part of the story. What about speed?
Ah, speed, the holy grail of the internet.
You know it. A slow website, it's like a death sentence these days.
Absolutely. Visitors bounce, conversions plummet. It's a disaster.
And thankfully, both SiteGround and WP Engine, they get that.
They invest heavily in speed optimization,
Mhm.
caching, content delivery networks, all that good stuff.
So they're both fast. That's great. But is there a clear winner in the speed department?
Now that's where things get interesting. Some independent tests actually show SiteGround edging out WP Engine.
Really? SiteGround is faster. I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's a bit of a surprise, but it shows you can't just go by the hype. You got to look at the data.
That's a good point. Data speaks louder than words.
Exactly. And in this case, it seems like SiteGround might just be the speed demon.
Okay, so SiteGround might be taking the lead in the speed race. But what about security? That's a huge concern these days.
You're absolutely right. Security is non-negotiable, especially with all the threats lurking out there.
And I'm guessing both SiteGround and WP Engine know that.
They do. They both have some pretty robust security measures in place.
But what does robust actually mean? Can you break it down for us?
Well, let's start with SiteGround. They've got a multi-layered approach to security. Firewalls, malware scanning, two-factor authentication, the whole shebang.
So they're not messing around. They're taking a proactive approach.
Yeah, they're definitely on top of it,
Yeah,
trying to prevent those nasty attacks before they even happen.
I like that. What about WP Engine? How do they handle security?
WP Engine, they have a slightly different philosophy. They include some basic security features in all their plans, but then they also offer some advanced add-ons.
So it's like you can choose your level of protection.
Exactly. If you need extra security, you can pay for those add-ons. It gives you more flexibility.
Interesting. So SiteGround is more proactive. WP Engine is more customizable.
That's a good way to put it. It really depends on your needs and your comfort level.
Okay, so we've covered performance and security, but let's be honest, managing a website can be a pain sometimes. So how do SiteGround and WP Engine make life easier for us? What about their user experience?
That's a great question, and this is where their approaches really start to diverge. SiteGround, they stick with the tried and true cPanel control panel.
cPanel. Good old cPanel.
It's familiar, it's user-friendly, it's a solid choice.
I've used cPanel before. It's pretty easy to get around, even for beginners.
Exactly. SiteGround knows that, and they've stuck with what works.
Okay, so SiteGround keeps it simple.
Mm.
What about WP Engine? Do they go the cPanel route too?
Nope, they've gone their own way.
Oh, what do they use?
They've developed their own custom dashboard specifically designed for managing WordPress websites.
Interesting. So it's tailored to WordPress. That makes sense.
It is. It's modern. It's streamlined. It's pretty slick, actually.
But is it easy to use?
It can be, but if you're used to cPanel or if you're a complete beginner, it might take some getting used to.
Okay, so there's a bit of a learning curve.
There can be, but once you get the hang of it, it's a powerful tool.
Gotcha. So SiteGround is user-friendly for everyone? WP Engine might be better for more experienced users?
That's a good summary. It really depends on your level of tech savviness.
Okay, all this talk about websites and dashboards is making me want to reach out for help. What about support? How do these hosts stack up when it comes to customer support?
Support is crucial. And both SiteGround and WP Engine, they take it seriously. They both offer 24/7 support.
24/7, that's good to know. But how do they actually deliver that support?
Well, both of them offer live chat and email support.
Okay, the standard channels. But is there anything that sets them apart? Any standout features?
SiteGround, they're known for their exceptional speed and responsiveness. They've got a reputation for really going above and beyond.
So if I'm in a panic and need help, ASAP, SiteGround is the way to go.
They're definitely a good bet. Their support team is super helpful, and they're usually pretty quick to respond.
Okay, SiteGround gets a gold star for support. What about WP Engine? Are they as responsive?
The WP Engine support is also good, but their response times can be a bit slower, especially during peak hours.
So not quite as speedy as SiteGround.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
All right, we've talked about features, performance, security, and support. But let's be honest, the bottom line often comes down to cost.
Right. Gotta watch those pennies.
Exactly. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Which one is easier on the wallet, SiteGround or WP Engine?
Well, this is where SiteGround really starts to shine. They're known for their competitive pricing.
Oh, so they're the more budget-friendly option.
Especially for their shared hosting and managed WordPress plans.
Interesting. I thought WP Engine was the more expensive one.
They can be, and this is where it gets interesting. WP Engine, they justify their higher price by offering a more specialized WordPress experience.
Okay, so you're paying for that extra WordPress expertise and those premium features.
Exactly. It's like a trade-off. SiteGround gives you great value for the price. WP Engine gives you that premium experience.
So it's not just about the sticker price. It's about what you get for your money.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance between cost and features.
All right, this is getting pretty complex. So how do we decide which one is right for us?
Well, unfortunately, there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
I figured as much.
It really depends on your needs, your budget, and what you prioritize most in a hosting provider. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the plans.
Yeah, let's talk pricing, features, all that good stuff.
Because choosing a hosting plan, it's like picking the right size shoe, you know?
Gotta find the perfect fit.
Exactly. Too small and you're cramped, too big and you're tripping all over the place.
Okay, so let's start with those just starting out. Maybe a small blog or a simple website.
The beginners. All right, so for those folks, SiteGround has their startup plan. And it's a pretty good deal, actually. You can host one website, you get a decent amount of storage space, unmetered bandwidth.
Unmetered, so you don't have to worry about exceeding limit.
And they throw in a free SSL certificate, too.
Okay, so security is covered right out of the gate.
Yep. It's a pretty solid package for those just getting started.
Sounds good. What about WP Engine? What's their entry-level option like?
They focus more on those managed WordPress features right from the start. You get a certain number of monthly visits, storage space, bandwidth, all that good stuff.
Sounds pretty standard so far.
It is, but they also include things like staging environments.
Ah, staging environments. Those are super useful.
They are. You can test out changes to your website without messing up the live version.
That's a lifesaver, especially for beginners who might be a bit nervous about breaking things.
WP Engine's kind of holding your hand a little bit more from the get-go.
Okay, I can see the appeal there. But let's talk price. How do these entry-level plans compare?
Well, SiteGround's startup plan, it's definitely more budget-friendly.
So if you're on a tight budget, SiteGround wins this round.
It seems that way. You get a lot of bang for your buck.
All right, so SiteGround is the value champion for beginners, but what about those who need a little more oomph? Maybe their website is growing, they need more resources.
The next level up. Okay, for that, SiteGround has their Grow Big plan.
Makes sense. What kind of upgrades do you get with Grow Big?
Well, first off, you can host unlimited websites.
Unlimited. That's a big jump from the startup plan.
It is. So if you're managing multiple websites, that's a huge plus.
They also include some more advanced caching mechanisms to make your websites even faster. And they include staging environments too, just like WP Engine.
Okay, so you get more resources, more speed, and that safety net of a staging environment.
Yep. It's a pretty comprehensive package.
Impressive. What about WP Engine? What's their mid-tier plan like?
They call theirs growth. And just like SiteGround, it gives you more resources to handle more traffic and storage.
So more websites, more bandwidth, that sort of thing.
Exactly. You also get access to more advanced support options.
Oh, like what?
Well, they've got phone support at this level, and you get priority support too.
So your questions get answered faster.
It's all about making sure you get the help you need when you need it.
Okay, that makes sense. But back to the pricing. How do these mid-tier plans compare?
Well, just like with the entry-level plans, SiteGround is still significantly more affordable.
They are. But WP Engine, they're offering some unique features that might justify the higher price. With their growth plan, you get access to their premium StudioPress themes.
StudioPress themes, those are top-notch.
They are, and they can be pretty expensive if you buy them individually.
So that's a pretty significant perk.
It is. And they also include the Genesis framework, which is a powerful tool for building WordPress websites.
So WP Engine is sweetening the deal with some premium goodies.
They are. It's all about providing that extra value, that premium experience.
Okay, we've covered the entry level and the mid-tier. Now let's climb to the top of the mountain. The plans for the big players, the high-traffic websites.
The heavy hitters. All right, SiteGround, for those folks, they've got their Go Geek plan.
Go Geek, love it. It sounds powerful.
It is. This is their top-of-the-line plan, packed with resources for handling demanding websites.
So lots of storage, lots of bandwidth, I'm assuming.
You got it. And they also include priority support, so you get even faster response times from their support team.
Okay, so if you need help, you're not waiting around.
Nope, you're bumped to the front of the line.
That's a nice perk. What about WP Engine? What's their top-tier plan called?
Theirs is called Scale.
Scale, fitting name.
Right, and it's all about handling massive amounts of traffic, no problem.
So if you've got a super popular website, this is the plan for you.
They throw in a ton of resources, make sure your website can handle anything you throw at it.
All right, but let's be realistic. These top-tier plans, they probably come with a hefty price tag.
They do.
How does SiteGround's Go Geek plan compare?
Well, you guessed it, it's still significantly cheaper.
No surprise there.
Yeah.
SiteGround seems to be the value king across the board.
They are, but WP Engine, they're still focused on that premium managed WordPress experience.
So you're paying for that extra level of service, that peace of mind.
It's about knowing that your website is in good hands no matter what.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Plans, pricing, features, it's a lot to take in.
It is. But we're not done yet.
We've got to talk about those special extras, those little bonuses that each host offers, the little things that make a big difference.
So let's start with SiteGround. What are some of their standout features, the ones we haven't covered yet?
Well, one thing that really sets them apart, it's their global reach. They've got data centers all over the world.
So no matter where your audience is, you can choose a server close to them.
Exactly. It's all about minimizing latency, making sure your website loads quickly for everyone.
Smart move. And I bet that's part of the reason why they perform so well in those speed tests.
It definitely plays a role. And on top of that, they include a free Cloudflare CDN with all their plans. A free CDN. That's a nice bonus, especially for websites with a global audience.
It is. It helps to distribute your content across multiple servers, making sure it loads quickly no matter where your visitors are.
So SiteGround is all about speed and global reach. Okay, what about WP Engine? What are their secret weapons?
WP Engine, they're all about that premium WordPress experience, remember?
Yeah, those StudioPress themes, the Genesis framework, all that good stuff.
Well, they don't just give you access to a few of those themes. You get the entire StudioPress theme library.
The entire library. Wow, that's impressive. So that's a potential cost saving right there, especially for businesses that want a professional-looking website.
It's a huge perk. And on top of that, they include automatic daily backups with all their plans.
Daily backups, that's peace of mind right there.
It is. You never know when something might go wrong, so it's good to have that safety net.
All right, both hosts are bringing their A game. This is getting tough. How do we choose?
It is a tough choice. But that's why we did this deep dive, right?
We arm ourselves with knowledge to make an informed decision.
Exactly. So let's recap those key takeaways one last time. SiteGround, they consistently impressed us with their value.
Yeah, their performance is excellent, their security is robust, their support is top-notch, and their prices are very competitive.
They really do tick a lot of boxes.
They do. And WP Engine, they're all about that specialized, managed WordPress experience.
You're paying a premium, but you're getting that extra level of service, that peace of mind, knowing that your website is in good hands.
So SiteGround for value, WP Engine for that white glove treatment.
That's a good way to put it. It really comes down to your priorities and your budget.
All right, we've given you the information, the analysis, the pros and cons. Now it's decision time.
Choose your champion.
And to help you take that next step, we've included links to both SiteGround and WP Engine in the description of this episode.
Go check them out, explore their plans, maybe even try out their free trials.
Get a feel for their platforms, see which one clicked for you.
Exactly. And most importantly,
Happy hosting.
thank